Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Bosom to Booty. Happy Tuesday afternoon if you are tuning in with us. And also, happy late International Women's Day. I hope everyone did something for their woman on Sunday, I think it was. I was supposed to go to like this feminist march on that was happening in Amsterdam, but I was got really caught up at I Holland because it was also this weekend, which is very not feminist of me. But that's why today we are covering one of the coolest all-girl bands in history that once again didn't receive enough recognition, just like Akofa Kusa last week. So I'm bringing them into the studio for you guys to hear them. They're called the Female Species, in honor of International Women's Day. But yes, this band formed in the 60s. They're all from Southern California, so it's a very like beachy coastal vibe. And the album we're reviewing today is the only album that they have out. It's like a compilation of all the songs they recorded over their careers. The band was comprised of like two sisters mainly, the Gossett sisters, and then they were the most like dedicated to it. And then throughout the years of their time together, like a bunch of members kind of circled in and out of the band, but they were like the main ones there. And so yeah, this album came out in 2021. I read maybe 2019, but on Spotify at least in 2021. And it's just like a whole compilation of like all of the songs they ever made, also like including the Female Species, so like the 5-person band, but also songs that the Gossett sisters wrote when they were playing as a duo, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, so that makes this album super long. I think it's like an hour and 20 minutes. So we are not going to listen to every single one of the songs, but most of them, because a lot of the songs are also like quite short. They're like almost all under like 3 minutes. So I don't know. It's very like, it feels very 60s, very old, very mamas and papas, very Beach Boys, but Beach Girls. But yeah, I'm going to play you guys the next two songs, You Need Me and Baby Buggy.
You need me, you Sally, would you like to go for a ride in your baby buggy? Sally, would you like to go for a ride with me? Sally, would you like to go for a ride in your baby buggy? You know I couldn't keep you, Sally, baby, can't you see? It seems a year ago today you were just my dolly, running all around, falling on the ground with me. It seems a year ago today you were just my dolly, and now you live and baby you're as real as can be. Sally, would you like to go for a ride in your baby buggy? I'd like to have you for a while, won't you smile for me? Sally, would you like to go for a ride in your baby buggy? Pardon if I cry, I love you, Sally, can't you see?
All right, that was You Need Me and Baby Buggy. So Vicky Gossett, the future lead singer of the female species, and her sister Ronnie, the future bass player, grew up in Los Angeles, represent, and they went to Monte Vista High School, which I don't know where that is actually, but LA is a big place. And apparently the story goes on February 9th, 1964, a historical day for America, for the whole world, because that is the day a little four-piece band called the Beatles had their first debut on the Ed Sullivan Show, which was like this entertainment show. And Vicky was 16 at the time, and she was watching this debut on the TV, and she thought to herself like, "Oh man, this is so cool! This is so awesome! It's just like four dudes making this music, and like I feel like I could do that. Four people, that's pretty easy, like no sweat. I just want my band to be all girls, not all boys." And so that is what she decided to do. And so one day she was biking home from the store. And suddenly she got hit by a drunk driver in a truck. And she ended up not getting that hurt. She was fine-ish, I think. I don't know, didn't really say much about that. But her parents, who are named, just for context, Big Al and Loretta, which I feel like are the most like storybook stereotypical names for like a nonchalant couple who live in like a house in California in the 60s, like Big Al and Loretta, you know? And their daughters, Vicky and Ronnie. Oh, so good. It's like straight out of a movie. Anyway, so Big Al and Loretta were like, it's fine, just give us like $200 and we can forget about the accident. And so the guy was like, fine. And then so Vicky was like, oh my God, we just got $200. This is a perfect time for me to ask for a guitar because I need to start a band, an all-girl Beatles band. And so that is exactly what she did. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna play the next two songs since there's like 5 quadrillion songs on this album. And they're called Stop and Think It Over and I'm Gonna Make It. And Stop and Think It Over is one of my favorites off this album. It is, I think, like the most popular one, the most streamed. And it's fabulous. So I hope you enjoy.
I'm not gonna say this time that I want you to stay. I'm not gonna cry this time. Just sit down, talk it over with my mind. Stop and think it over. I'm gonna stop and think it over. I'm gonna stop and think of all the times you walked out, leaving me behind. I'm not gonna say I'm wrong the way I did before. I'm not gonna lie this time. Just sit back, watch walk right out the door. Stop and think it over. I'm gonna stop and think it over. I'm gonna stop and think of all the times you walked out, leaving me behind. I'm not gonna say this time that I want you to stay. I'm not gonna cry this time. Just sit down, talk it over with my mind. Stop and think it over. I'm gonna stop and think it over. I'm gonna stop and think of all the times you walked out, leaving me behind. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna shake it. I'll take the world by surprise. I'm going up there, right to the top where I'll use the stars for my eyes. You'll hear them all shout when I sing my heart out, and they're gonna see me start to rise. Goodbye, you dark nights. For me, it's those bright lights. I'll show the world a brand new style. And when they see me, oh, they won't believe me. I'm gonna make it worth their while. You'll hear them all shout when I sing my heart out, and I'm gonna make the whole world smile. shout when I sing my heart out, and I'm gonna make the whole world smile. I'm gonna make it. Ooh, I'm gonna shake it. I'll take the world by surprise. I'm going up there, right to the top where I'll use the stars for my eyes, for my eyes.
Isn't that so good? I love there's this part in Stop and Think It Over when it's like a guitar solo and it's like so good. Anyways, that's my favorite one. So where do we leave off? Vicky got in a car accident. She got $200 from this guy, and her parents were like, "Fine, let's buy you a guitar since you just got hit by a truck." And so she started learning the guitar at 16 from the money that she got, and she got started on getting the dream team together. So she recruited Vicky, who was 14 at the time, to play the bass, and then there was this girl. Forgot her name, sorry. Oh yeah. Little sister Ronnie at 14 was chosen to play the bass. Then we have Donna Snow on the keys, Linda Peters on guitar, and Michelle Molnar for first of many drummers. The drummers was the drummers like kept quitting, coming in and out. I think they had like 4 different drummers, which was kind of great. What is up with you drummer ladies out there? But anyways, the names also are just crazy. Like Big Al, Loretta, Donna Snow, Linda Peters, Vicky Gossett, Ronnie Gossett. I mean, hello. That's just, I don't know. I feel like that just feels so like 70s movie to me, you know? Anyways, so they got the dream team together. They started playing music together and like they were all like self-taught, teaching themselves how to play the instruments with each other. And they thought it was annoying to play songs like straight from the radio, so they just started writing their own songs at like 16 years old. Some of which, I don't know which ones specifically, but some of which are on this album, and they wrote them while they were in high school together as the first female species band. But since they were like trying to get gigs, to like make it big because all of them were like really committed to music even at such a young age. But because they were all underage and tiny little babies, they could only book gigs in like restaurants and cruises and stuff. But even then, they got hired for this bigger gig at some point because they started playing in Hawaii for some reason, I think. And they got booked for this bigger gig on a cruise, but thankfully they got out of there fast because apparently they were hired to do a little bit more than just sing, which is disgusting. But all of them, but anyway, so they were trying to book as many gigs as they could. And all of them were like really committed to music, even though they were only in high school. It was like their number one thing at such a young age. They were like making good money from the gigs they were playing, and like some of them had ideas to go to college, but I don't think Vicky or Ronnie ever went to college because they kind of just like took music and kept going with it for the rest of their lives because they would, as you hear, like they were always like making music in some form, like not in the ways that they like really wanted to, but they were always doing something music related until a certain point where they like moved on. But they did music for like I think well into their 40s, both of them. So they were really committed. Like every time they would only go to school, and then every moment after school they would rehearse with the band. On the weekends, play gigs, yada yada. So like music was really all of their like number one thing. So yeah. The next chunk of songs, we're gonna move on to the next like 3, and I feel like it starts to like bring it down a little bit. This is one of like my favorite sections, if you will. We have Tying the Leaves, which I think they wrote in high school. Actually, I read in an article, which is beautiful because I think it's about. I need to look at the lyrics again, but about it like turning into fall, and like the girl doesn't want fall to come because I don't know her. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to go into it because I don't even know what I'm saying is correct. But I'm going to look into it and then we'll talk about it afterwards. But anyways, we have Tying the Leaves, Coast to Coast, which I really love listening to, especially when it's spring. And I was like, oh my god, this album is perfect because the sun has been out and about the last like week and a half, except for today, apparently, as you can see. And maybe here, I don't know if you can hear the wind behind me. But it is a rainy day, sadly, but hopefully this album is cheering you up. It's a really good one to slap on when the sun is just coming out. I've been really into that type of music because I need it, you know? But anyways, Coast to Coast is one of my favorites also with this album. I think actually my favorite above Stop and Think It Over. It reminds me, go figure, of LA every time I listen to it, especially. Well, I guess I am kind of like living coast to coast, if you can count Amsterdam as being kind of coastal. From LA to Amsterdam, from coast to coast, you know what I'm saying, guys. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna play the next songs and look up Tying the Leaves. See you guys later.
In the darkness of her lonely room, I heard my mother pray. She didn't know that I was there outside her door that day. I'm gonna tie the leaves, I'm gonna tie them all. Heaven don't take her now, God don't let them fall. The doctor made it very clear, can I say? You take my breath away. You give me love when I need it most. And I can't explain just how I feel today. But I look for you from coast to coast. You've been around maybe for all my life. 'Cause you brought me dreams, you gave me hope. But I never thought this world could be so nice. And I've looked around from coast to coast. What can I say? You made my dream come true. You give me love when I need it most. But I never dreamed I'd find someone like you. And I've looked for love from coast to coast. Oh, I never thought this world could be so nice. And I've looked around for all my life. What can I say? You take my breath away. You give me love when I need it most. And I can't explain just how I feel today. But I look for you from coast to coast. There's a rainbow, baby, and it's coming our way to paint the sky with bouquets. There's a rainbow, and it's for you from me. There's a rainbow, baby, and it's trying to say I love you so many ways. There's a rainbow, and it's for
Those were my favorite chunks of songs, I think, out of the entire album. I mean, I love all of the songs. I think they're all a little bit quite similar. I think also what's a tiny bit hard about this album is because they didn't really like put it together as an album and like come out with it themselves when they were making the songs, because they never had the opportunity to. They never really got like a record deal or the ability to come out with an album. Um and so because of it, this album was kind of like, I don't really know like the background about this album and like how it was put together and who put it together. But I don't think that, I mean, they for sure didn't have as much like say in the way that it was structured, or like if they would like maybe release these songs in like different albums or like in different chunks, you know. So I think it can get a little bit repetitive sometimes when you listen to the entire thing. Like I think it's really nice to also like put on just like during the day while you're like hanging around the house, you know, because it like, I don't know, all of the songs are like really similar in like a really nice way. But I don't know, when I wrote this episode, it was like a lot of like some of the songs that I chose to not play because we're already like well, we're like halfway through the first side of it. There's two sides, or there's two discs of this album, and we're already like more than half. And I've skipped like a few songs just because like there'd be a song, and then the next song would be like so similar, and the next song would be like slightly different. And I thought just for the structure of this episode, and since I need to take some songs out, I would like do it with a little bit more of variety. But anyways, no, I just like that chunk really nice, like those three songs together a lot. And Time Leaves, I did look it up. I was correct before what I was gonna say, but it's about um like this girl's mother who apparently was like sick, and the doctor told her that she wasn't gonna make it when autumn came around, and so she wanted to tie the leaves so that the time wouldn't pass and that the leaves wouldn't fall, so that she could stay with her mother, which is so sad, but such a beautiful image of like, I don't know, tying the leaves and like trying to make time stop because you want to spend it with someone. It's really beautiful. But yeah, anyways. So by the time they all graduated high school, they had already gone through a few like band members, which I think at this time it was like mainly the drummers who like came and went. I think they had like 3 drummers by the time they graduated high school. But so when they were all done and graduated, the legend Big Al got them a gig at the Silver Slipper Casino in Las Vegas. And all of them were still underage, basically, but since the casino also like sold food, apparently it was legal that they could be booked there. But and they spent the next like 8 years in Vegas. I don't know if they playing at this casino and like multiple others, getting to know like all the showgirls and like all of the things going on in Las Vegas, you know. And all of their friends would drive down from LA. They would commute all the time from LA to Las Vegas. It's like about a 4-hour drive. Speaking from experience. And Vicky even bought like a house down there, so they could stay there and not commute from LA so much. So they spent like the next 8 years really in Vegas, like getting into the Vegas scene, which is always like such a crazy image to me. Like apparently their schedule was insane. Like they'd start work at 10 and play until like 4, and then party with like all of the friends that were there until the early morning, and then go to bed and wake up and do it all over again, which is an insane Vegas life, you know? And every time I have to think of the book that happens in Vegas that I can't remember. They also made it into a movie with Johnny Depp, but now I can't remember. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I always have to think of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and how crazy Vegas is. And Vegas, and also the book The Goldfinch by Jonas Hart has like this whole section where he's living in Vegas, and it just seems like such a like heterotopic, weird place to be. But anyways, they were there and they were killing it over there for 8 years straight, living life. But over the course of the years, like things started changing. Donna got married and moved on, and the drummer Jan at the time also left the band. And so by the end of like 8 years, it was basically just Vicky and Ronnie, the Gossett sisters, again. And they started doing shows as a duo because they were like really committed to making music for the rest of their life. And they were booking like some gigs and singing for like, at one point they got this gig singing for a country TV show, But eventually they both decided that like country was not for them. That's not like what they wanted to be doing. And they, in order to like really make it in the music industry, because they were doing fine, I mean, they were like living it up in Vegas. Like they they said they really wanted to move to like one of the main capitals in America that like where you could make it big, that being like LA, New York, or Nashville. And yeah, they just said that like Vegas became like really comfortable for them because like the money was steady, the gigs were good, and like they had friends and a whole life there, but like they also felt like stuck at a time. And so by the time that it became the Gossett Sisters, like only them two, and the band kind of like dispatched a little bit, they were like, okay, if we want to make it big, we got to go to the big cities, you know? So yeah, they moved back to LA for a little bit, and then, but it was really hard to get into the LA scene. Anyways, I'm actually gonna get into that later. I'm gonna play the next few songs first. But anyways, okay, yes, the next section now. I'm gonna play the next two songs. They're called "Here Comes the Night Till the Moon Don't Shine," which is like also one of the most popular ones off this album, and "Chinchilla Hat." They all kind of like it all like comes back down. They're all like related to the night. I'm skipping a few songs in here, but there's another one called like "In the Moonlight." And "Here Comes the Night." Oh wait, we are listening to that one. But anyways, they're all, I don't know, a little bit more like melancholic, sad, and like evening-esque, which is really fun. So enjoy.
I don't hang around waiting for the phone to ring much anymore. And the days don't seem to last as long like they did when they did before. I don't fall apart when somebody mentions your name, 'cause I'm doing alright. And just when I think I'm over you, here comes the night. Here comes the night. And here comes the loneliness it brings. Here comes the night. And here comes the silence that it sings. And just when I think I'm over you, and just when my future looks bright, and just when I've made it through the day, here comes the night. I don't run around asking if anybody's heard how you have been, and I seldom look at your picture or read the letters that you used to send. I don't fall apart when somebody mentions your name, 'cause I'm doing alright. Just when I think I'm over you, here comes the night. Here comes the night. And here comes the loneliness it brings. Here comes the night. And here comes the silence that it sings. And just when I think I'm over you, and just when my future looks bright, and just when I've made it through the day, here comes the night. Here comes the night. And here comes the loneliness it brings. Here comes the night. Here comes the silence that it sings. And just when I think I'm over you, and just when my future looks bright, can't seem to get you off my mind. 'Cause I just found what I've been looking to find, and I'm gonna love you all the time. Ooh, 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 I feel something new. I can't explain the crazy things I do, and I just need to know you're feeling it too. 'Cause I got a feeling that it's you. Ooh, 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 ooh. There's a cool breeze blowing around us tonight, and I'd like to lay it on the line. I'd like to wrap myself around you so tight. Gonna love you till the moon don't shine. Ooh, ooh, till the moon don't shine. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, he turned my head around, and wanting you's got me upside down. I just can't seem to get my feet on the ground, and I'm gonna love the love I found. Ooh, 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 till the moon don't shine. Ooh, 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 till the moon don't shine. Ooh, ooh.
All right. That last one was called Chinchilla Hat, and it is the last one off of this disc. So now we're moving on to the second side of the album. Um, so yeah. So, anyways, so the band broke up basically after like 8 years in Vegas. I don't know when this is. I'm gonna guess like late 60s, early 70s. And so the Gossett sisters, they were still like dedicated to making music and they wanted to become stars. So they moved back to LA from Vegas. But nobody was really having their music because it felt, which is insane to me, first of all, because I feel like they're so like I was saying, like beach girls, mamas and papas vibes. Um, but apparently their music was like too down the middle. It wasn't country enough. It wasn't rock and roll enough. And so LA was just a bunch of like closed doors for them apparently. So they started making some demos for record labels in Nashville. Um, and they ended up going to Nashville just to like see what was up and like see what the scene was like there to visit. And after a couple of years there, they landed a deal with Peter Talbot Publishing, writing songs for them. So that was the first time that they were like really, like they weren't doing what they wanted to do necessarily, but that was the first time that they were like really being paid to like be musicians, I guess. Um, but they still, um, yeah, anyway, sorry. I'm skipping ahead. So they got a deal with this publishing place, and they were writing a bunch of songs for them, a bunch of like country songs. And apparently, every time they would come into the studio would like take the songs that they wrote and like turn them into this like these really cheesy like country songs. And like we heard before, they weren't like the biggest country fans, even though you can definitely hear it in their music, like the country aspect, I guess. But like making like really cheesy country songs was not their spiel at all. And so I think after a couple years, they quit with that company. But they still wanted to become stars, and so they landed a deal eventually with a record company called RCA. And they were convinced to play, to compete. I think it didn't really say, like a competition called like the Ace of Clubs, which I don't know, was like supposed to like was something, or like they were gonna play, and then apparently if they like got it and if they got it in the bag, like they were gonna make it big. I don't know what it was necessarily for, but apparently the like build up for it was really intense. They were like writing a lot of different songs and like rehearsing a bunch, and they had this like epic show, and it went like insane. And they were like, "Oh, we have this in the bag, like 100%." And the second we get this, like we're gonna be moving closer to like being stars and like gaining fandom. But for some reason, they also didn't land this gig. And so I think they were about like 40 at this time, and 30s, early 40s. And that was kind of like their last straw. Apparently, they were like, I don't understand why we didn't get it. This last straw of the music industry. They were just done. So they retired from music. And Ronnie became a Christian music distributor, and Vicky ended up working at the Jeep dealership that she bought her Jeep from when she first moved to Nashville. So yeah, they quit music after that and decided to retire and like find different careers because they were working at it for so long, and like no, they would never catch a break, which is crazy because their music is so good, as you can hear. And I don't understand, again, I mean, why they didn't get a break. And yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna play the first few songs off of the next disc. Please enjoy Black is Black, Time, and Heard the Things.
Black is black. I want my baby back. It's gray, it's gray. Since she went away, oh no. What can I do? 'Cause I'm feeling blue. I can't choose. It's too much to lose. My love's it's all over with you. I loved you, I loved you, I loved you, I loved you, oh, I loved you. Yes, I really loved you. And now it's over, and now it's over, baby. And now it's over with you. I heard the things you said about me, and now I know you've been unfair. I know you never cared now, cared.
All right, so those were Black is Black, Time, and Heard the Things. And again, like I said before, I feel like this album doesn't feel like crazy conceptual because it wasn't arranged by them, and it was it's kind of just like a compilation again of like all the music that they came out with. But I thought it was interesting, like reading this article that kind of like explained their musical careers like chronologically, and like reading it in the order of which it happened, and then also like listening to the album and kind of like hearing like their careers like through the album, I guess, since it's like a combination of everything that they ever did. And like for example the part where I was talking about before, where it like kind of comes down, and it comes down and it gets a little like melancholic, and sort of like this very like country, moon don't shine in the moonlight, here comes the night, all of those songs, like those were written like during the time that they like were in Nashville, and they were writing for this they were like with this record company and writing for all of these like country songs. So I feel like it's interesting to like listen to it and like know kind of the trajectory that they went through. Even though I don't really know specifically, besides those like which were written by the female species and which were written by the Gossett sisters. But yeah, I feel like there you could really hear like the country influences. And then now on like the last three songs that we heard, I don't know, I feel like they feel a little bit different to me. Like they also covered Moni Moni by what's his face? Billy Idol. Which I didn't play, but you can listen to. I don't know, the first like handful of songs on the second disc, like these last three, they sounded a little bit more like Doors-y to me. It was like a little bit bluesy and kind of like I don't know, it felt a little bit different. But the next three songs that I'm gonna play feel a little bit more like the first half of the first disc. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Please enjoy I Won't Be Free After Sunday, Good Morning World, and Together.
I'll be back next Sunday. And I know it's been a long, long time. But just because I'm coming home Sunday doesn't necessarily mean I'm coming home.
All right. We are moving on to the last two songs of the album. So this album was put on, like this compilation was put on by the Numero Group, who like got all of their songs together and released them in 2021 on Spotify at least, or I think it was also available 2019, but whatever. But yeah, so now we can listen to all of their beautiful, beautiful music, which they should have received a lot more recognition for at the time that they were making it. But I'm assuming because they were women that they didn't get a lot of the same opportunities as bands made up of like all men. So, which is terrible. But anyway, so that's why we're playing it on Bosom to Booty today. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll listen to them after this episode. But the last two songs that we have are called Me and Jane Fonda and Chinchilla Cat. Me and Jane Fonda is like a nod to the health and beauty industry, which is like forcing women to exercise and eat a little bit so they can stay skinny and adhere to the beauty standards. And then we're gonna end it off. We have one more song after this, but I'm gonna end it on Chinchilla Cat, which is a banger. Because on the first song, the first disc ended with a song called Chinchilla Hat, and now we have Chinchilla Cat. And they have lyrics like the first one is, I love you more than my chinchilla hat, and now we have I love you more than my chinchilla cat, which is like wow. I mean, like imagine someone said that to you. You know, that's like it's pretty powerful. I also like looked up what a chinchilla cat was and what a chinchilla hat was, and wow. I mean, if someone loves you more than both of those things, that's like really powerful. So. We're gonna end it off with those two, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Goodbye.